What's up, Crusties? Welcome back to my channel.
Yeah, boy!
Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different from usual. I got this idea the other day when I was thinking about how BookTube has a lot of really interesting opinions, and I was super curious about what you guys' unpopular opinions were. And so I just put out a tweet and asked you guys to comment all your unpopular opinions, and I would basically react to them in a video. And that's what we're doing today. Okay, I could have dressed up all nice and cute, but I really want to keep this crusty brand alive, and therefore I am bringing you wet hair, I'm bringing you wash day, I'm bringing you I last minute decided to add this in this video, and now I am freaking out because I low-key almost forgot to announce this, but here we are. That's what I'm bringing you. So if you're not aware, if you don't follow me on Twitter, you might not know that, first of all, Midnight Sun is coming out like the end of August. Whoa, I feel like I just got flashbacks of the entire Twilight saga, and that is why I am here today. Robot sounds, that is so embarrassing. But anyways, me and some really cool people on BookTube are going to be hosting a Twilight Saga readathon, read-along. I just like readathon way more than I like the sound of read-along, but we're going to be hosting an entire thing where we read all of the Twilight Saga books and we do live shows for them in preparation for Midnight Sun. We're going to be doing this from the beginning of June all the way through mid-July, but we're going to have all the dates and stuff for the live show up on the Cullen-a-thon Twitter page. So if you have not followed that yet, go ahead and follow that. It's going to be a fun time. If you're Team Jacob, just exit right now. Why are you even here? Why would you stand crusty, dusty, musty Jacob? I'm just kidding. Everybody has their stand. But if you want to join us and you want to read the Twilight Saga and you kind of want to take your time with it, you want to scream on Twitter, you want to have a lot of fun with memes and jokes and all kinds of cringy stuff, definitely follow that account and join all four of us on this wonderful, crazy adventure of going back to Twilight. Yes, that is the announcement. That's all of it. We're gonna go back to the video now before I disgrace myself any further. Mom, if you're watching this, don't judge me. Nobody's perfect. Okay, let's get back. I'm just gonna read them and tell you if I agree or not and all that jazz. Let's get into it. The first tweet that we have is from Sarah, and she said, "I'm sick of a blank of blank and blank titles. Be creative or perish." I agree with this one because I feel like every single YA fantasy that's been coming out is literally like a blank of blank of blank. It's like a chicken of nugget and toes. Pick something creative, please. We're literally dying. Like, imagine how tired we are of seeing the same title for every single YA fantasy book. It's enough. Like, you guys have beat this horse to the grave. The next one we have is from Cecilia, and she says, "Only reading classics doesn't make you smart." I highly agree with this one because I notice a lot of people, even in the real world, like off of Twitter, off of BookTube, think that reading classics makes you so intelligent, whereas a lot of classics just sound so boring to me, so I don't even bother reading them. And I definitely don't think that reading classics makes you smarter than other people, like people who read romance or people who read YA fantasy or people who read YA romance. I think anybody can be smart. We don't have to read boring classic books that are set in the 1930s. BookTube and Book Twitter aren't these dramatic cesspools. Compared to other online communities, our dramas are tame. People just assume reading a lot of books inherently makes you a good person, so any level of drama looks extreme. I definitely agree with this one because before I joined BookTube, I thought, like, what could people who read books possibly be arguing about? They could be arguing about a lot, and they do be arguing about a lot, which is really funny. And I think BookTube drama, like if you compare it to drama that happens in other communities, like for example the beauty community or the mukbang community, we're literally peasants. The beauty community has like such crazy drama. Next we have, just because you ship two characters in a book who aren't canon confirmed by the author doesn't mean you get to shove your opinion down everyone's throats. Facts. That's all I have to say on that one, like, facts. Next, someone said Six of Crows is overrated and I DNF'd Crooked Kingdom. I have to touch on this one because I saw a lot of people commenting about Six of Crows being overrated, and I kind of agree. I think Six of Crows is really good, and Leigh Bardugo does amazing writing in that series, but I personally enjoyed the Grisha trilogy more because it was very, very entertaining. It was very fast paced, whereas Six of Crows, you kind of get into it past page 100. And for me, any book that has to take 100 pages for me to be interested, it's not going to be like a top favorite for me. So I definitely can see why somebody would say Six of Crows is overrated. And I could definitely see why someone would DNF Crooked Kingdom, especially since it's been like 4 months now and I'm still on page 50 of that book. So I can't argue with that. An author is not problematic because their characters do or think problematic things. This means that characters are realistically flawed people. We all think problematic things. Yeah, I agree with this one actually. I used to think that if an author wrote characters who were problematic or mean or evil, then that author definitely had the same thoughts and processes as the characters. But as I've read more and as I've watched people reading more books with problematic characters, I definitely agree with this comment because I just think that sometimes authors like to present really problematic ideas so that they can kind of gauge an audience and see, okay, what do people think about somebody who's this crazy? One booktuber who I know really enjoys reading books with problematic characters or really knows how to process the difference between problematic character versus problematic author is Lala from Books and Lala. She reads a lot of books where the characters are unlikable, where they say and do and act in problematic ways, and she has a very good way of separating that from the author. So I definitely agree with this one. Next, we have the bookish community cares more about POC in books than actual POC and writers of color in the community. And even then, there's only one type of POC narrative that the community accepts, the struggle narrative most of the time. Definitely agree with this one. I have noticed a lot that the bookish community will be like, oh, this book has POC representation, blah, 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 blah. But then when it comes to actual authors and people of color, it's like crickets out here when it comes to like talking about actual situations and actual issues. People are just like, oh, no, it doesn't matter. You're just being dramatic. Why are people talking about someone attacking her? It's not about being black. It's not about being Hispanic. It's not about being Native American. But anyways, you guys should read this book with this black character who is also XYZ. So I think definitely this tweet is hitting the nail like, please let there be more best friend type of stories in YA. It's come to the point where I'm getting sick of seeing romance sprinkled in between the two main characters. I do blame this on Radio Silence though for making me want more friendship stories. I definitely think Radio Silence alerted me to the idea that a story could be about two characters that were not in love. I think Radio Silence was done so beautifully. And as somebody who literally will find romance anywhere, I was very pleased to find that there was no romance between the main characters in this book. I highly agree with this tweet. I think that we should have more stories that are just centered around friendships because it's pure. I feel like friendship is a stronger bond than romance in a lot of cases because your relationship could end. But when your friendship ends, it just feels so much more painful. So I definitely think that we do need more stories that are just friendship focused. We have another one that says Six of Crows is boring. There aren't enough books where the main character chooses the dark side. Give me selfish characters. Give me good written villains who have understandable motives. Give me flavor. Agree. I think it's really interesting that a lot of main characters decide to be good, but I'm getting to the point where I kind of want to see a main character who decides to be bad and see how they go through that and see how they kind of like fight that internal battle of I need to be good, but I want to be bad. We should get that soon. I think this is like a good thing to have in a fantasy book. It'd be interesting, it'd be cool. Let's see it. Writers, get to it. The secret history should have stayed a secret. No comment. Romanticizing villains as opposed to liking the character and their history when they're genocidal / mentally or physically abusive / manipulative / downright disgusting and then acting like you're unique for doing so. The Darkling stands have been attacked. Definitely 100% agree with this. I think it's funny, especially with the Darkling and Matthias. A lot of people will thirst over the Darkling, like their life depends on it. Like they'll literally act like the Darkling is the best thing since sliced bread. And then when it comes to Matthias, everyone's like, disgusting. He's a Nazi. He probably would have supported Hitler. He's gross, nasty, nasty. But then on Twitter, they're like, Daddy Darkling, oh my god, Stan, can't wait for Shadow and Bone, my husband. It's like, the Darkling is literally a disgusting evil monster who wanted to kill an entire country. He wanted to wipe out all of Ravka, like, and y'all are standing him. It's like 1 plus 1 equals 13. It doesn't make sense. Authors need to stop describing white characters that wear dark clothes as dark. I thought a character was black and then sorely disappointed when they ended up being pasty white. Also, comparing POC skin to food and using the word exotic. When an author's like, she was brown like hot chocolate without the milk. She looked like a lava cake right when you cut the slice out and the lava comes pouring out. She was as dark as freshly brewed coffee. She was the color of coffee when you add some vanilla creamer. Just say she's black. Like, there has to be better ways to describe people who aren't white than comparing them to chocolate and coffee. Some authors should not have Twitter, or they should have a publicist run their Twitter. Based on recent events, this may not be that unpopular of an opinion. Yeah, definitely agree. Definitely agree. They should have publicists. But then it's funny because the comment right under that says, nah, show me your true colors so I can stop supporting you. So this one, it's kind of like both are right, because I wouldn't want someone to be like a problematic evil person and then me be like, I'm their biggest fan. But at the same time, some of these authors are like really, really messy. So somebody needs to put them in check. 50 Shades of Grey is a hot mess and should have just been a TV series. I think 50 Shades of Grey would have been really cool as a TV series. I haven't read the books or seen the movies, but I have heard a lot, and I've seen commercials of the movies, of course. But I think it would be really good as a TV series because they could do a lot. They could really help people get attached to the characters a lot better. I think shows that have that kind of idea tend to do better than movies. So agree with this one. When authors add on to a series that is already done and create new information after the books are already out. I've seen a lot of people complain about this, but I personally can't think off the top of my head about any authors that I like who have done anything like that. But I do know that the author of The Hunger Games is doing that, and let's hope that it will be good, because I just started reading The Hunger Games and I really like it. So I'm hoping that when that fourth book comes out, it's not absolute crap. There are movies that are better than the books. Agree. I've heard that the Shannara Chronicles and also The Maze Runner, that the movies were better than the books. I haven't read either of those, but I have heard with those that the movies are better than actually reading the books. And I think I've heard the same thing about Divergent, but I'm not sure if that's like a true thing. Not every girl needs to be not like other girls or not that attractive with the biggest expressive eyes and brown hair. Yeah, this is like the classic YA thing. She's like, I'm not pretty. I just have brown hair and mousy eyes. The Raven Boys is mind-numbingly slow, and the slow pacing makes it unenjoyable. I kind of have to agree with this one. I feel like The Raven Boys is really, really slow, and it takes a while to get into it. It's definitely a book you'd want to buddy read with someone, because otherwise you're going to be so bored. Twilight, the books were good. The first movie was decent too. Agree.
How old are you?
17.
How long have you been 17?
A while.
You can read just for entertainment purposes without giving an F if the book is actually good. 100% agree. Hate reading. So the last one I'm doing is not reading graphic novels because they're not real books makes you an a-hole. The truth has been spoken. The truth, wow. Yeah, this one 100% agree with. I feel like graphic novels and manga are such a huge part of reading because they're really fun, they're really cute, they're a really good way to spice up whatever you're reading and to kind of give you a good distraction that will be quick and easy to get through, especially when you're in a reading slump. And I definitely think saying that they're not real books is so jerky because people take their time and put in a lot of effort into creating these stories, into making this beautiful artwork. And graphic novels and manga, I don't know if many of you buy them, but they typically are pretty expensive, and that's because of all the time and care and art and revision that goes into this, especially if you're talking about manga that oftentimes needs to be translated from Japanese to English. So they're putting all this work into these books, and for someone to say, oh, they're not real books because they have pictures is really not good. So I 100% agree with this one. And with that, I will be closing my laptop and just saying thank you guys for watching this video. If you agreed with any of these comments and of these opinions, then comment down below and let me know which ones you agreed with. If you disagreed, comment down below and let me know which ones you disagreed with so we can have a conversation. Thank you to everybody who entered or left an opinion. that gave me content for this video. And it was really cool reading what you guys think is an unpopular opinion. And it was really cool seeing how I thought about that and what my thoughts aligned with. Thank you again for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.